this is what we are going to do. It's the style of Robin Schulz. It's actually quite similar to the remix for David Guetta. So that's how I came up with this rebuild tutorial, and it could very easily sound like the radio edit of Dangerous. Yeah, and so forth. So let's check out the project. What do we have here? We have several piano tracks over here and a string over here. And from the kick on, we work with hi-hats, with drum elements, with claps, shakers, and white noise, a little bit of bongo, typical Robin Schulz kind of bongo. And over here we have bass and pads. And why do we have so many piano tracks over here? Well, I think I'm going to make this template available, and if you don't have the Ableton piano pack, like grand piano pack, you can still work with this template, because there's a second track over here that has a recorded version of that piano on top. And I'm going to try to make this workable in Ableton only, so you need no third-party devices. And maybe you already saw that I use the Verb reverb plugin over here. It sounds a little nicer than the reverb of Ableton, but you can exchange those, and they have kind of the same settings more or less, and then you get the Ableton reverb, and you will be able to listen to it quite similarly. But let's start first with the drumming. As always, I'm starting with the kick, and in every template I'm doing and we are preparing over here, we use a sidechain channel. We always sidechain. So we use a kick in a simpler on the first track. We call that sidechain. We take the C3 note and take all the kick hits and play them throughout the song without actually having them active, and then we use that signal on other tracks through the compressor over here. For example, on that piano track, through the compressor, we are taking the audio from the sidechain and using it as sidechaining signal. We are setting up the ratio, getting the threshold over here down as much as we like, and then have this pumping effect. Not too extreme over here, but a little bit it's applied as well. So anyhow, that's sidechain. The second important element is our kick. We are using a punchy kick over here. And I'm cutting out a little bit of those frequencies with the equalizer here, to make sure you know how to get a kick in here, right? So you would select the kick over here, drag it into the simpler here, and then get started. And that's how we start basically. And we use an equalizer to cut out those frequencies over here, and then a little bit of the high ends, and then I'm adding in a glue compressor from the audio effects, this one, and I'm using the low extender over here, and I'm putting it in, and I looked for the threshold just a little bit, and then I'm later, actually that's not too clever, let's redo this and use it as 0 over here and add those 7 decibels over here. Effect is the same, but we don't have it's more straightforward that way. Anyways, that's our kick, and the kick also has a C3 note in MIDI information, and it's looped throughout those bars that we are using over here. So that's our first element. The next element is a hi-hat. And you can see I put in the delay on the tracks. So track delays, and I'm taking some of those tracks some milliseconds earlier than they would actually play. Sometimes that helps the groove to come along. That's a hi-hat over here. It's a simple, yeah, you see, I was experimenting before. Can delete all the stuff. It's only like what's really important here are those notes on the third hit in every instance. Yeah, and they are filtered somewhere. That's why you didn't hear it in the beginning. And we drag in the, I think what we used over here was from our deep premium, was the closed hi-hat dry, that one, and put that in over here. Added in a utility from the audio effects. I use that sometimes for volume adjustments in the effect range. And then we use a compressor, a little bit of compression, and then a chorus, also from the audio effects. Over here there's a chorus, and the chorus sometimes helps you to get a mono signal a little bit wider. And over here we have a little bit of EQing, actually a lot. We are cutting out a lot with this low cut over here. I just want the top frequencies playing, and then there's hard sidechaining compression. I don't know if it's even necessary. Not really, so we can leave that out here. I think I was messing around with a longer sample and wanted it to get cut off before. And you see the volume is down quite a bit, but we have the reverb from the return channel active over here. That's how we get the return channels in. A lot of reverb. And let's go back to what we initially had over there. And you can see that reverb is completely in the wet zone, and it has a 3.6 seconds of decay time, and we put this fairly to the left, so this hi-hat. So basically the same happens to the second hi-hat, it's just a different sound, and it's going to the right. Ah yeah, and that one is getting a little bit of delay as well here. I added in a simple delay. Basically it's all the same like the other one, but there's a simple delay. You hear a little bit of delay over here. Dry if I turn it up. And I have a frequency shifter. I think I was looking for some, well actually you can, I think I was looking for some other frequencies, but in the end I decided to go for those. And over here we are cutting out a little bit in the very high frequencies, 11K, and over here we are taking out a little bit with sidechaining. But those are really like so not too important details. So let's move on. And that's a shaker head. That's not really necessary. I was just messing around a little. It's also, all of them are offbeat. Oh well, that one is actually playing 2 times. Shaky. All of them are pretty optional, so I'm going through a bit quicker over here. Let's have a look at the clap, because they don't really make a big difference. You see, I was just trying something when I did that, but you can boost it up and have another one playing if you like. Anyways, let's go to the clap. Also a utility, I think they were copied. There's a little bit of compression there. There's a low cut over here cutting out those frequencies over there. making sure they don't mess up other frequency ranges, and there's a little bit of chorus on the clap as well. Clap, clap, clap with chorus. And without. So the next thing is a shaker loop. You have those, there's this percussion pack, I think is the Latin percussion pack. So I used calypso percussion, all of those, and then I created some shaker sounds over here. Let's activate this track quickly. So that's the source, you see. And I played around with the velocities a little bit of those notes. You can see some are hit harder, some are hit a little less. And I created a groove with that. Heavily sidechained. And yeah, I cut out all the low frequencies over there. And then to make it easier for you, if you don't have this Latin percussions pack, I recorded it again onto this track. So over here it's the same thing as audio file, just simply record it onto that track. Yeah, and let's listen to everything so far explained. That would be like this, all those parts of the drumming. Oh no, this one. So that's a basic drumming, and we are basically playing that all the time. So the next track over here is a white noise. That's always needed. It's basically created with an operator. So if you take the operator from here, from the instruments, and you drag it onto a track, and you right click and tell it to group, you will get an instrument rack. That's what happened over here. It's simply put into an instrument rack, but the thing works the same, so don't get confused by this view. I can put it this way. Though there's also a sidechaining compressor here, an auto filter. I used the auto filter from the audio effects section over here to cut out the low frequencies, everything below 2K. Another chorus over here. And this EQ adds a little bit of high shelf and a little bit of reverb on top. So what is the white noise doing? We are actually just selecting one of the oscillators. We are selecting the white noise white waveform over here, and we are drawing in a line. Yeah, and that's what we get. So that adds the swoosh kind of effect. See, and I'm automating the gain. I'm taking down the gain, so the level here. This, if you right click and map this to one of those macro controls, like I mapped it to the second one, you see this is the gain from the operator, and it's slightly taken down over time. You can see that over here. Another thing that happened was here in this break part, I also used the sidechaining and I automate the sidechain a little bit to have it more pumping. So the sidechaining of the compressor, the threshold basically. You see what happens there. A little bit of more pumping. You could also do put the sidechaining in here. That's what would change. But let's leave it that way, because Robin Schulz is also doing it that way. and we want to copy that now. Well, the next thing he does is bongos, and I took another set of percussions, the Son Montuno percussions, and I looked for some bongo sounds that sounded kind of similar to the ones of that guy Robin Schulz, and I tried to figure out a little bit of his groove, of his drum groove, and what I heard was this. Those are the available sounds, and I went for those two. Also side change, low cut, equalizer on mid-side mode, but it's not really necessary. The difference over here is so little in the end, doesn't really make a difference if you use it in parametric, in the usual stereo or in the mid-side mode. And over here, like the sound was not really fat of those bongos. The sound was not really fat, so I started with the sausage fattener, third-party plug-in, and like added a little bit of fatness and color from the banana, and then I tried to replicate that fatness with the how's that thing called? Saturator. Exactly, it's a saturator. So I took the hot tubes from the saturator and messed around a little, and then I achieved also some saturation on those. They sound a lot more powerful with the saturator over here, so it adds more drive to them. And we have reverb on top, and there's also a little low cut over here, and we put it to the right, this part. And then there's the second bongo part, same story, same settings more or less, also hot tubes, EQ, reverb, and it's also from this percussion pack, like from the pack you get from Ableton.com, Latin percussions. If you have the Ableton Suite version, you can go to Ableton.com and download all those things over here. You can see them over here for free, and you will get the grand piano, for example, and the how are they called, orchestral strings, for example, over here, and other stuff as well. Also those Latin percussions, and all those are taken out of the Latin percussions. But don't worry, we will make sure you can also use this without those packages. Anyways, we are using the second bongo track over here, same effects applied and taken to the left. Let's play them together, and let's play them with the kick. So there you go. That's basically the drum, a basic rebuilt drum groove of Robin Schulz deep house kind of style. And now let's go further to the bass section. I was trying to make everything in Ableton, so I used the operator to create that bass sound. And I was looking for something that gets close to the sound of him, and I took this detuned low pass bass preset, and well, here's a MIDI pitcher. It's not really needed. You can also go down one octave in the section over here, and those are the notes we are playing throughout the song over here: A1, D1, E1, B0. And we are using another instance of the glue compressor here, a low extender as well. Let it work a little bit, and sidechaining, cutting out a little bit of those frequencies over here, around 200, putting on top a saturator with a bit warmer preset. Yeah, sounds a bit warmer indeed. And then we cut out some of those higher frequencies over here and emphasize a little bit on the lower ones. And yeah, and then we use the utility, because this is pretty stereo, this bass was pretty stereo, so I used the utility, dragged one of those in here and took down a little bit of the width, because in the bass you don't really need so much stereo. So that's that. And over here the operator pad is a pad I created a while ago, and I have another video on this pad. It's pretty versatile, but over here it's just working as a support for this bass and is adding a little bit of atmosphere to the bass. And you can see it has low cut, so we are focusing on those frequencies over here. Wanna play them a little longer, and we have a chorus applied. We have a, no, that reverb shouldn't be active. Yeah, it's not active. It's that reverb over here is mapped to this macro over here, and it's not active. But you can, like, with this pad sound, you can make powerful stuff when adjusting those parameters. If, for example, taking down the chorus and taking up the cutoff really changes the style of that sound. That's quickly. So that's pretty awesome. I'm going back all the values, because yeah, that was actually what we tried to do over here. And I drew in the bass notes in 2 octaves as well, and that's supporting the bass on top. And that same sound is again applied on this track, pad operator here, and that's basically, I just put that into, because we are not working with vocals in this template over here, this basically acts like as if there was a vocal. The vocal would do something like that. So after the break, the vocal would like do something right in front of the drop, and then maybe like reverb into the track, always on the start. So it would sound something like that. So that's basically just a placeholder for a vocal you could put in here if you apply this template yourself and change the notes according to the track you want to make. Yeah, let's go up to the stuff we haven't seen yet. So Robin Schulz is using pianos a lot, and we are going to do that as well now. So as I already showed you, I've taken the grand piano stretch from that grand piano pack over here. They're somewhere here in production. Yeah, that's where you can find them. And yeah, first thing we do over here, I've tried to figure out the notes, so it's more or less something like this. Let's play it solo. So we have this piano, and we throw a lot of reverb on top. I did it with the Toro verb, but in the end it will be this reverb it's basically the same. That one sounds a little more high quality, but if you don't have it, doesn't matter, just use the other one. And sidechaining a little bit and a limiter, it's not really necessary over there. So on this track there's a copy of this if you don't have the grand piano installed. And what happened now, I put this to the right a little bit, and I noticed that Robin Schulz has some left-right effects in his remix, so I tried to replicate that with those two piano tracks over here. I'm splitting up what the notes are doing. I'm taking this part on the right side and I'm taking those two on the left side. So on the right side you can see those are deactivated and I just play those notes, and on the left side it's exactly the other way around. I'm playing those notes and those are not played basically. So let's have a look at how that sounds. Yeah, and now we need to fill up a little bit the frequency range as well. So all those other deactivated piano tracks are basically copies of the other ones. So to fill up the frequency range, I use this stretch piano somewhere in here, and it's just playing those notes. And it's heavily sidechained. And it's emphasized in the high frequencies. It's just to make that feeling of there's more going on. And the same thing is what happens with those strings over here. They also just fill up the frequency range. What am I playing? Yeah, there we go. So those are the ensemble tremolos. They are in the orchestral string sounds tremolo. There you can find them. Another Toro verb, but also replicated with that one. And heavily sidechained as well, and a little bit of EQing and limiter on top. Yeah, so that's that. And what else is happening here? You might want to do that or you don't want to do that. In this case, it was quicker to do it like this. I put 2 instances of the auto filter onto the master, and I messed around a little bit with low cuts. And with I think there's also one high cut, yeah. So in this breakdown. It's a low cut over here. And that's being repeated several times. And then in the end, I threw on this mastering chain we made a while ago. That's also a free download on our Facebook page, and that one basically is a little chain with Ableton only plugins for simple mastering applied on your master channel. So I'm cutting out a little bit of the low frequencies in the mid-side mode, and I'm cutting them out on the sides. Over here with a lot higher than down here, and I'm catching the peaks with the glue compressor. That's catch peaks here. And I'm cleaning up some of the mid frequencies over here with that equalizer, multiband compression a little bit applied, punch, adding punch, adding sustain afterwards. The other way around doesn't make sense. And then we have a final touches EQ and a limiter. We could drag that up a little more even. You see there's still a little bit of space and it's never really working, so there's headroom left. I'm always trying to leave some headroom, that's why my kick, for example, and everything else is pretty silent. So yeah, this template will be made available. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Check the description for all the links. Also, if you like more sounds in deep house style, we have also massive presets. And make sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook. And see you next time. Bye.